So, racism is a touchy subject for some people, and it comes in many different ways, whether it be racist remarks or the segregation of races. Every race is discriminated against one way or another. It's been this way for many years. The most common type of racism we face as a people almost every day are stereotypes.
Now, some of you might ask, what are stereotypes?
Stereotypes are the inaccurate accusations of another person usually meant to define a race and their habits, but they're not always true.
People have branded each other to stereotypes from the basis of race, religion, and even skin color. Instead of some people basing their opinions about a particular ethnic group on what they experience, they go off of popular stereotypes, which are mostly inaccurate and can anger certain people because the stereotype is most likely nothing of who they truly are. People use stereotypes because they're A, prejudiced, or B, want to make the person who they stereotype feel bad about themselves and their race.
Many people started stereotypes against Muslims and other Middle Eastern groups even before the 9/11 attack. Many people thought and still think that Middle Easterners are barbaric, and so they began to put stereotypes on their lifestyles. Even in children's television, they depicted the Middle East as inhumane and barbaric. In the Disney film production, Aladdin, the original theme song's lyrics said that they were in a place where they cut off your ear if they don't like your face. It's barbaric, but hey, it's home. If a child heard this song, they would obviously have a negative connotation with theirs, and they would grow up with this thought. And there is also, of course, the major stereotype which is placed on the Middle East, which is a stereotype that they're all terrorists.
Now this stereotype emerged after the 9/11 attack, which ended in the death of thousands of people, including the attackers. The aftermath of this attack, however, is worse than the actual event. This started a war that is still prevalent today. Due to all this, all the people in America who are from the Middle East are considered terrorists.
Even my own family was once randomly selected for a baggage check at an airport. Everyone else who was randomly selected was, or at least looked like they were Arab. After this event, my mother began to cry because she was so hurt and disrespected. And to think, this all started because a group of evil men destroyed the lives and reputation of their fellow people. So please, just be mindful of what you say, because what you think is funny might be offensive to someone else.
Now, as you guys can see, I'm an African-American man. And in my 16 years of living, I've been through so many situations where I was judged based on a popular stereotype. For an example, based on the history of African-American education, it's a stereotype that blacks are illiterate, which has greatly been proven to be inaccurate.
The reason people think blacks are illiterate dates back to slave times in America. Slaves were denied education unless they were a fortunate northerner. They did not receive an education in the South because equal rights weren't established yet. And once the slaves did get their rights, they were only allowed to be taught by fellow African Americans who were probably uneducated or had little education prior. So they never really received a proper education, and they were left to be thought of as Neanderthals.
Another stereotype which I faced is the stereotype that I'm a light-skinned African American.
Now for those of you who don't know about this stereotype, it is said that light-skinned guys are wimpy.
This argument between dark skins and light skins began during slave times in America. A slave owner named Willie Lynch put dark skins and light skins against each other so that they would have to try to outwork each other. The dark skins did the tough work, the tough field work, and the light skins did the housework, which started as wimpy. And this is why light skins are thought as to be soft and wimpy. Now, the first time this stereotype was used against me was when I was talking to my friend whose boyfriend thought I was hitting on him. He was mistaken because I was simply conversing with her, but he took it the wrong way and wanted to fight me. His first words were, "Come on, throw your hands up, light-skinned nigga." I had no clue why he said it to me, but I took the high road and turned the other cheek. But after the fight, I was talking to my other friends who were making fun of me for walking away, and they also called me a name light-skinned. I asked them what they meant, and they finally told me the truth of it. I ignored it then, and I continue to ignore it now. So please think before you speak, because what you say could make someone else feel bad about themselves.
Another community that faces racism is the Asian community, who experience racism of their lifestyle and cuisine. People make jokes about what they eat. The most common joke about their cuisine is that the Asian diet consists of cats and dogs. These two animals are considered delicacies and are not eaten every day.
The regular diet of Asians consists of vegetables, fish, rice, and noodles. Cats and dogs are rarely eaten in Asia, but due to a rare event, an extremely popular stereotype was created.
They also have the stereotype that all Asians are good at math. While part of this may be true, it is actually caused by the strict social system that is in place in Asia. The system enforces good grades rather than encourages them.
What he means is that some Asian parents and grandparents scare their children and grandchildren into believing that education is the only path, rather than letting them choose what they want to do as a profession for the rest of their lives.
Now, we could go longer on the stereotypes of all the other races, but I think we made our point clear.
What we want for you to leave today with is the thought that no one and no race is perfect, and you don't have the right to judge anyone else.
And we also want you to think before you speak, because what you think is funny may hurt someone else.